Dan Bilzerian was born on December 7, 1980 in Tampa, Florida. His father, who was a graduate of Harvard Business School, owned a robotics company and made an impressive 7-figure salary. While he was always willing to buy the family anything they wanted, he was hardly ever present. He missed numerous birthday parties and sporting events because he was either on a business trip or stuck working late at the office. Dan and his brother Adam suffered greatly as a result of their father's absence. Unfortunately, he was indicted in the year 1988 for security and tax fraud, which made him lose practically all of his life's earnings. Dan's father declared bankruptcy in the year 2001 with a claim of only $15,000 worth of assets and $140 million worth of debt. Dan was just 8 years old when all this happened. Dan started getting picked up on in school and eventually began acting out. He stopped doing his homework and got into fistfights with other students pretty often. He eventually was asked to leave the school permanently. At his new school that was just a few towns over, Bilzerian had a much better experience. Things were going great for him until he brought a machine gun on school property. He had no intentions of firing the gun, but simply having it in his car was enough to get him expelled. He had to finish his senior year from home and wasn't allowed to walk for graduation. After high school, Bilzerian joined the Navy with hopes of becoming a Navy SEAL. He survived the basic underwater demolition SEAL training despite suffering from a broken leg. He continued to work hard, undergoing strenuous physical and mental tests. Just a few weeks away from graduation, he was forced to drop out of military school and forfeit his right to become a SEAL. He was discharged for fighting with one of his officers. After his time with the Navy, Dan enrolled at the University of Florida, where he double majored in business and criminology. It was during his freshman year of college that he first played poker. He funded his education with his $6,000 per month disability allowance that he was awarded due to his injuries and honorable discharge from the Navy. By the second year in school, Dan had gone broke because he could no longer gain access to his assets he was previously a beneficiary to. He was forced to sell guns at this period and later turned to the poker table. His first appearance at the poker table was in Lake Tahoe, Nevada casino, where he was seen walking into the casino with a suitcase filled with cash, looking for a game to play in. Since that time, he has been popularly referred to as the suitcase guy. He has been asked by many about the source of his money from his early poker career, but he has never clearly answered this question. Dan Bilzerian claimed that he received some money from his father Paul Bilzerian in a trust, but refuses to specify the amount or the specific role that the fund has played in starting off his gambling career. Many people believe that the trust fund money is what he used to start off his career as a professional player, while some others believe that Dan Bilzerian's net worth has been made already before he had access to his trust fund. In 2009, he participated in the World Series of Poker main event for the first time. He played against professional poker players like Phil Ivey and Joe Cada. He finished in 180th place and won $36,000. It was that performance that led to a sponsorship from Victory Poker, an online card room that is no longer in operation. In exchange for $1 million, Bilzerian agreed to wear a Victory Poker uniform for all the tournaments he competed in. He also appeared in several commercials to promote the company's name.
This could be you. Money, nice watches, badass cars, girl, Victory Poker. All you gotta do is submit a 1-minute video and you can be like this.
Despite his efforts, Victory Poker crumbled just after his 1-year contract with them had ended. Since then, Bilzerian had dedicated most of his energy to cash games. Through a series of high-stakes cash games, he was able to turn a $750 investment into over $187,000. Dan was recognized as the funniest poker player on Twitter by Bluff magazine. He is also dubbed the King of Instagram by his Instagram followers. Dan has been involved in a number of public stunts. One of such stunts was when he wagered $400,000 on a drag race with his attorney. At some point, he was reported to have swam through a lake filled with alligators at midnight. Shortly after that, he bet Bill Perkins $600,000 that he could bike from Vegas to Los Angeles in under 48 hours with no medical assistance. Dan amazed everyone as he was able to bike that 300-mile stretch in just under 33 hours. Prior to starting his race, he was trained by professional bike racer Lance Armstrong, who agreed to coach him in exchange for a $25,000 donation to his child cancer charity. He also reportedly fired at an RV in the desert with his .50 caliber machine gun until the RV burst into flames. In a moment of madness, Dan has flipped a single coin for $2.3 million of chips and lost at the game. He is a popular Instagram celebrity with more than 16 million followers, with many more additions on a daily basis. Dan became highly popular on Instagram thanks to his uploads which highlighted his spectacular Playboy lifestyle. With his crazy lifestyle, Dan has experienced 3 different heart attacks even before he reached the age of 32. Dan Bilzerian net worth has increased substantially over the course of the year. It is quite obvious that his earnings from playing high-stakes poker have contributed immensely to his net worth. Dan doesn't play poker by himself alone, he's also a sponsor for other professional poker players in the game. For instance, he sponsored his friend and poker pro, Jay Farber, with $2,000 to play at an event. Jay placed second at the event he was sponsored for. At the end of the game, he gave $1 million of his winning to Dan. Dan is investment inclined as he has quite a number of investment holding portfolio that he has greatly impacted on the long-term financial stability of Dan Bilzerian. In the year 2013, Dan posted an unverified claim. He said that he had won a total of $10.8 million in a single night while playing poker. There was no proof of this, however, and his Twitter followers were skeptical as they know he tends to exaggerate. According to him, he's no longer playing poker with poker pros but with billionaires in high-stakes private games. He also went further to claim that the highest he has ever lost in a single game was $3.6 million. Dan Bilzerian has built a reputation of himself as one of the most famous faces of high-stakes professional poker player. He loves fame and doesn't miss a chance to push his image over the edge whenever he has the opportunity. He's also very famous for making lofty claims that many poker analysts believe are fraud. He had once made a claim to have put almost his whole net worth in a single poker game and he had won big, a statement that seemed quite absurd to many poker analysts. His fellow professional poker players as well as the poker analysts have punched holes in this claim, stating that Dan was trying to cover up for his fraud. According to some people, Dan Bilzerian net worth is not singly from his own earnings but from the fund acquired by his imprisoned father. According to Doug Polk, a fellow poker pro, a lot of funds were reported missing after his dad was convicted and asked to pay about $60 million in fine. Instead of paying the whole money, Paul Bilzerian paid only a few $1,000,000 and could not account for the rest of the money. Dan Bilzerian hit the headlines when footage of him kicking a model, Vanessa Castano, on the face while celebrating his birthday at a nightclub in Miami hit the screen. According to the woman, she was left by Bilzerian at the spot while she bled from the eye. Of course, Dan Bilzerian denied the allegation, claiming that he was only defending another lady he had gone out with at the time of the incidents. This incident resulted in his ban from the Live nightclub at Miami. Vanessa Castano filed a lawsuit against Dan for her injuries, requesting for a claim of $1 million as a settlement for the suit, stating that there might be higher punitive damages on his income if the lawsuit were to go viral. Within the same year of 2014, Dan was involved in another legal matter that involved Janice Griffith, a porn actress. Dan allegedly threw Griffith from the top of a roof into a pool as a part of the photo shoot for Hustler magazine. Unfortunately, she hit the edge of the pool and broke her leg. The 18-year-old actress requested for $85,000 from Dan for her foot injuries, but as expected, the request was denied. This prompted her to file a lawsuit against Bilzerian and Hustler magazine. Dan's attorney responded to the suit, stating that Janice Griffith was under a contract for an event by Hustler magazine under which Bilzerian himself was hired, which means that Dan was not at fault. On the 9th of December 2014, Dan was arrested for unrelated bomb-making charges at the Los Angeles International Airport. According to the Police Department of Los Angeles, he was arrested on renegade warrant from Nevada. According to the release made from his arrest, Dan was charged with the violation of a law which makes it a crime to be in possession of an explosive or other incendiary devices with the intention to produce it. He was later released from the police station and the charges were dropped. It was not so shocking to people when Dan released a statement in 2015 stating his intention to run for the presidential seat of the United States during the 2016 election. He was faced with a lot of criticism during this period from both his fans and critics. He shelved his aspiration for the presidential seat in December of 2015 and returned his focus to poker circuit and his career as a stuntman. Dan Bilzerian lives in a $3.7 million mansion in Las Vegas, complete with a movie theater, a pool, a hot tub, and 11 bedrooms. To go with this mansion, he has an impressive collection of sports cars which includes a Lamborghini Aventador, a Bentley Flying Spur, and a 1965 AC Cobra. He also has a personal chef to cook all his meals and a maid to do all of his housework. His mansion is typically filled with an endless supply of beautiful women who show up for the lavish parties he throws. Dan is a social media celebrity and has grown his fan base over to 16 million people. He's famous for his frequent posts chronicling his lifestyle of nightclubs, sports cars, and yachts. Dan Bilzerian's net worth affords him the lifestyle he's living. Many of his critics have requested him to clarify his source of wealth, but he has expressly denied making any statement in this regard. Dan has always lived on the edge and has been involved in various escapades. According to his critics, he is devoid of moral, legal, and financial constraints, living a roller coaster lifestyle. His lifestyle typically revolves around the fastest sports cars, free females, and advanced weaponry. According to reports, Dan Bilzerian gets his hair cut by naked women wearing bow ties. He was also reported to have brought a new pickup truck just to move around his 20mm anti-tank gun. When Dan is not posting nude for pictures, he is seen dressed in pseudo-military dark t-shirt, cargo pants, and boots. Dan's health has experienced some big blows, with him suffering 3 different heart attacks. His recent attack was attributed to him resulting from his overly ambitious poker schedule, sex, booze, and jetting between Hawaii and Las Vegas. Dan Bilzerian has been reported to have tons of guns in his home. As the report said, there are loaded guns casually left in almost every room in his house. Before a visitor would be allowed into his home, they will be stopped by security who will educate them about the weaponry and the reason that they must not touch the weaponry for any reason whatsoever. Apart from poker games, he has also made appearances in quite a number of films, among which are Olympus Has Fallen, The Other Woman, Equalizer, and Lone Survivor. Dan Bilzerian started the Robin Hood project that was used to give money to people who are in need of financial assistance. He is willing to donate $10,000 per person, as any donation larger than that is taxable in the United States. One of the first person to benefit from this project was a woman who lost all of her limbs in a bad car accident. Dan Bilzerian also hosted a poker tournament in 2015 to raise money for brain research. The tournament took place inside his Las Vegas home and cost $1,000 to enter. Celebrities like Ludacris and Vin Diesel showed up for the event, along with countless others. In total, Bilzerian was able to raise over $100,000 for charity. Over a period of 10 years, Dan Bilzerian's net worth has grown to over $150 million US. Earlier in 2014, he declared that his net worth was about $100 million, claiming that he has 20 employees, which include 3 chefs and 3 assistants. Within the next 2 years, his net worth has significantly increased with an additional $50 million US.